To adequately enjoy the series Criminal on Netflix, I had to drastically change my expectations for what the show was. Well, that sounds like a glowing endorsement, doesn't it? So Criminal takes place in 4 different countries, and it's really 4 separate series. You have Germany, United Kingdom, France, and Spain. And each of them contains 3 episodes. And it's a police-type drama that mainly takes place in the interrogation room between the cops and whoever they're interviewing. And each episode, they're about 45 minutes to an hour, not more than an hour each. And when I went into this, though, I thought that I was going to be watching, when I sat down to watch UK, I was going to see 3 or 4 episodes at that time when I saw the trailer. I didn't know how many episodes there were per series, but I thought they were all going to be connected, that I was going to be watching a show. But as it turns out, each of these episodes are truly standalone episodes. They don't connect to the next one, save for a little bit of minor detail on the back side of it, not in any of the actual criminal or the cases or anything like that. So that's why I really needed to adjust my expectations going in, because when I first sat down to watch, and I started with United Kingdom, and it was the episode with David Tennant, I was like, ooh, cool, okay. And that's really what drew me into this, is like, I'm a big fan of David Tennant, I enjoy him, and so this is going to look good. And even the whole series, even each country was like, wow, this is kind of a cool concept where we're seeing them, the police, investigate through just interrogation. I guess they're not really investigating at that point. They're just interrogating. They're just interviewing. But they're trying to solve the case through the interviews. And I thought, wow, this is going to be really cool because it's dialogue driven. And I love when shows are that way, when it's character and dialogue driven, because they can't rely on just special effects or action or anything like that. The writing has to be spot on. And I always think back to 12 Angry Men. I mean, for the most part, that takes place in the jury room. And that is a phenomenal film. And the writing and the characters and the acting is so tight and so spot on. And that's what makes it such a great movie to watch. And that's what I was expecting for this, that I was, ooh, okay, so we're going to have, the different characters coming in and it's all going to build around this central case. And no, that's not exactly what it is. So the David Tennant episode is number 1 episode in the United Kingdom series, and he's not in any of the other ones. Same with Hayley Atwell. She's in number 2, but she's not in any of the other ones. And so I kind of felt it was a little bit like clickbait, even though I know that it wasn't, but that's how I interpreted the trailers. I felt that they were showing me this and getting me all invested or hyped up to see this, only for it to be like, oh no, they're not connected and we're going to wrap each one up in each episode. So when you do that type of show, when you do that type of episode where it is truly just a standalone piece and it's not connected and it's short, there are some pros and cons that go along with that. I mean, part of it is you have to be really good at your writing. It has to be tight. You have to dive in. You have to get us invested, make us care, and then also put in any twists and turns that you want so that it's kind of compelling as we're going along. But part of the pros is there's not a lot of investment that has to be made on my end to care about all of the characters. I mean, I need to be able to care about them enough to care what's going on between, but at the end of the day, when the episode ends, I'm okay. Another positive to this type of format is that I can pop in and out of the series or episodes and I don't even have to really watch them in order because it doesn't matter. So if I'm not feeling it tonight and I'm like, oh, well, you know what? I really want to watch this one instead. Okay, I can watch that one and I'm not missing anything. That also allows for really quick binges too, because, you can watch 3 episodes in, under 3 hours and knock out one whole series, or you can drag it out for weeks because it's like, I'm not really missing it. And if I don't remember what happened in the last one, that's totally fine because it was done. I just need to pay attention to what's going on in this episode. But then there are some major drawbacks also with this type of series or the way that it's executed. And that is that you don't always feel satisfied. And you don't always feel satisfied from a number of different perspectives. Part of it is that there's not a lot of character development. I mean, there's bits and pieces, and some episodes do it really well, and so that I feel like I can really connect with the characters that are on the screen. But other times, it's just like, I don't really know who you are, and I don't know why I care, especially if the case is not very compelling. And I think that's, that also is a downside and as a detraction to an episode or a series like this, is that if you don't have the strongest of cases, if you don't have the strongest of characters, the strongest of actors, then, they're the ones carrying this episode. And so it's just kind of like, okay, I gotta go watch something else. Or I'm on my phone just... You also don't get a good resolution to all of the stories, or at least maybe something that's a satisfying resolution, because some of them just end and then you're like, well, wait, I want to see the aftermath of what was decided right here. And you don't get that. That part's done and we moving on. Because we don't get like a lot of time with the characters, it does lend itself to a bit of a disjointed feel between episodes. And part of that comes because the stories, like I've said, are all standalone, but you do have this small underlying connectivity between each of the 3 episodes in each of the countries, and that all involves the police officers. But here's the thing with that, is I'm meeting them in the middle of a conversation. So I don't know what has happened before this, so if there's bad blood, or they're not getting along, or they're totally getting along, or they're best of buds, I don't know why. And it's not always told. Sometimes it's just alluded to a little bit. Sometimes you watch just these relationships progress positively or negatively in the 3 episodes, but not enough so that you care. It's almost like it's kind of filling in a little bit of time here and there because they just didn't know exactly what to do inside the interrogation room. And like I said, there are 4 countries and they're 4 separate series. And so you have Criminal United Kingdom, Criminal Germany, Criminal France, Criminal Spain. And while not all of them are spectacular, I do think you can find something that has merit in each of the series. But I felt Germany was by far the strongest, both in cases, both in characters, just everything. Like, that was the one where I was sucked in the entire time. I just absolutely loved it. I was enjoying the cops' point of view and the cops' perspective. I was enjoying the criminals or the people, the suspects who are being interrogated and interviewed. Just all of that interaction really, really worked for me. Then I enjoyed the United Kingdom second after that. And surprisingly, though, it wasn't the David Tennant or even the Haley Atwell episode that really sucked me in. I felt that the third one was probably the strongest entry out of them. And it didn't have like your big name stars like they used in the trailers with Haley Atwell and David Tennant. France, I thought, was really strong. Well, mostly strong. I really enjoyed it. But the funny thing is, I didn't like the cops at all. Like, I could not stand the characters one bit. And that was almost a turnoff, and it was almost enough to make me not like that whole season or that whole series. But I found the cases to be more compelling. And so I was able, that's what made me enjoy them even more. Spain also didn't care for the cops. Quite honestly, didn't really care for the criminals all that much either. There was one that was really, really good, and for me, I felt it was very powerful also. Now, one thing that may be of an annoyance to you, maybe a distraction, or you might just think is cool, or you might just go completely unnoticed, is that the setting never changes. That all of the series take place in the same interrogation room, the same backside of the double-sided mirror in that police room, and the same police building. The vending machines are the same, the benches outside are the same, the table is the same, everything is the same. And so it lends itself to this continuity of that. But if you get hung up on those things, you might go, well, that's stupid. That was in Germany. Why is it in France? We know they're not all the same room and the same building. There you go. So just take that for what it's worth. So overall, and did enjoy the series. I do think it is worthwhile to watch it. But if you were only going to choose one series to watch, then I'd do Germany. That's just my personal take on that. Maybe you'll like one of the other ones better. Who knows? But I think Germany definitely is the strongest entry because I've said it over and over again if that wasn't clear to you. There's no sex, nudity, or violence, but there is profanity and some graphic descriptions of crimes. So just know that going in. I am going to give each series its own rating just because I could give it all an overall one. But like I've said, Spain is kind of down here. as I look in the camera. Spain is down here, and Germany's way up at the top. So I figured, here you go. So Germany, I give 4.5 out of 5 couches. UK, I give 4 out of 5 couches. For criminal France, I give 3 out of 5 couches. And Spain, I give 2.5 out of 5 couches. So what is your favorite police procedural? Is there a great one out there that I should be checking out? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this review, please give it a like. Also, don't forget to share and subscribe. I'm Chris. This is Movies and Munchies. Thanks for couching with me.